Hey folks, BlackCross here, and I figured today I'd go ahead and talk about the recent Nintendo Switch reveal. So, here we go. Everyone is very excited. In fact, a lot of people are very much hyped for the game system itself. And for good reasons. The games that they have revealed for the Nintendo Switch has been like off the walls exciting. For starters, the new Mario Odyssey game definitely breaks some ground. Like, they went from like their normal traditional step ladder, and then they made a big jump, and it was like, what happened? Wow. It just, I'm not gonna lie, for me, not being a fan of Mario, this game actually takes a reminder to what Mario 64 was. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, I'm saying it as a good way, because the platforming in that game looks absolutely crazy. It's fantastic, in fact. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, Mario Galaxy was the same way. Yeah, but because of the fact that it was somewhat gimmicky, it kind of reduced the quality of what I relate to a Mario 64 like, and Mario Galaxy wasn't really that. Whereas Super Mario Odyssey, though, definitely breaks some grounds, and it definitely has my interest in particular. And then, of course, there's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which surprisingly, for some reason or another, because I heard rumors that it was going to be delayed. And there's a difference between saying that it's going to be delayed and it's going to be released along with the console. Like, there's a big difference. So it's like, delay? I don't see that as a delay, especially when you consider the fact that it's going to be released on March 3rd. I figured it was going to be at the end of March, but nope. It's at the beginning of March. So that's like, wow, they were able to push it up. That's a surprise. And I kind of figured the price would be right around $300, which that makes sense for most consoles, especially since new consoles these days are right around the $300 price range anyway, so I'm kind of used to that by now. Anyone who thought there was going to be a $250 price range, that's basically a high hope right there. But a $300 price range, I think the majority of us would be fine having. And then, of course, a couple more games that's going to be coming out later on. There's going to be a Dynasty Warrior-like Fire Emblem. A lot of people, including myself and Delmar, are very excited about that one. Because you could work in a lot of different areas with Fire Emblem. While I'm not played a Fire Emblem game before, I do know some of the ground works that Fire Emblem has done. And I can say that they can definitely work with that as a Dynasty Warrior-like game. So that would definitely be interesting to see in the works. And then, of course, a couple of other games that they revealed, while on some end I'm kind of like hyped for and not so much, the biggest thing that had my attention, and I say the biggest thing because when I saw it I was like, oh my god. It's the new Shin Megami Tensei game that they revealed during that press conference. They didn't actually say when it was going to be released. As far as I know, I think it's just now in development stage. Which means we probably won't see any more information until probably like within the next year or so. If they do reveal more information, it will probably be at E3 this year probably. But I think the biggest news regarding that is that, considering the fact that they have confirmed that Skyrim is going to be on the Nintendo Switch, which doesn't really interest me at the moment right now. Don't go crazy, just it hasn't been interesting to me right now. But considering that has been a side view, it makes me wonder if just showing that small little clip of it all is just to get fans riled up for a new Shin Megami Tensei game. And if that's the case, that was a perfect opportunity to spark a light bulb and say, okay, let's get working really hard on this one and then reveal more information at E3. Which means there's a possibility that this could be a third-party game. Because if you remember, there have been some cases of where Shin Megami Tensei used to be a Nintendo title only. And then it switched to PlayStation, and then it switched back to Nintendo, then it switched back to PlayStation, so it's kind of like, what? It's kind of like a tug-of-war struggle between the two consoles for some reason. And I don't know, but I don't think Persona 5 was supported for Xbox One. So far as I know, I think it's still PlayStation 4. I think it is, actually. Because I don't remember seeing it for Xbox One, which is kind of weird, isn't it? But the point is that while admittedly Persona is only PlayStation exclusive, there could be a possibility that maybe the next Shin Megami Tensei exclusive title could end up becoming a third-party game. Meaning that it's not just for the Nintendo Switch, it could be available for the PlayStation, it could be available for the Xbox One. We really don't know any information as of right now. We just know from that scene, from that trailer clip, and keep that in mind, and that trailer clip is so small that the only thing we got out of was just seeing all the demons in, oh my gosh, HD quality in the Unreal Engine 4. I was like, oh boy, they look gorgeous. It's just, oh my gosh. Just seeing that just making me like, oh, I really want to play Shin Megami Tensei again. Especially Nocturne. Nocturne was like the first game that I played out of the series to get me into it. And then after I played that one and beat it, I was like, okay, let's see all these other ones. And I've been playing a whole lot of them ever since. But just seeing that one gets me excited for whenever it comes out. If it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive only, then that means I'm going to have to borrow my brother's console later on. And yes, he's got it pre-ordered. Go figure, right? But while all that's good and everything, the Nintendo Switch itself didn't really have a good press conference right off the back. Like, literally, when I say it didn't have a really good one, if I had to grade their press conference, and keep this in mind, it was a little over an hour long press conference. You would think, for as long as Nintendo has been around, you would think that they would know what they should do as a press conference, as a company, of how to display their console. They didn't really do that well. In fact, the biggest thing that they talked about next to some of the games was just the HD Pro motion controls, which is basically the Joy-Cons that go on the side of the Nintendo console tablet itself. Those are basically going to be your motion controls, which is a good and a bad thing. I say it's a good and a bad thing because here's the thing. We've went a long way since the Nintendo Wii came out, so chances are it might have had some improvement. Then again, probably not. I say probably not because it looks like they are trying to, like, push the ideal of that this is an all-in-one machine. They're trying to go for Xbox, apparently. Because of the fact that it's a console, it is a handheld, and it's a tablet to where you can place it on the table, and then you can play the games and everything like that. And while that's a good thing, on the other hand, it's probably not a good thing, because if it is like motion control support type thing, I wouldn't really say that that is a good feature. If nothing else, I think that's like a feature that people would very much never use. I say never use because after hearing the response for that one, I was like, well, Nintendo ain't really doing so hot with that area. I think they need to learn to let go of the motion type things and just stick to regular gaming like they should have. I mean, seriously, how hard is it to make a simple game? Apparently for Nintendo, they can't. Admittedly, though, they've actually had more people working on the console itself in terms of the developments in hand, so that's a good thing. So maybe they might have actually done better with the console itself. On the other hand, though, again, they still didn't have a good press conference because the only thing that we got out of the entire conference, and by the entire conference, I mean that 1 over hour press conference, is the battery life. And the battery life is meh. I say meh because it's kind of like standards to handheld, which is not exactly a good thing. But I'm willing to overlook this because they actually thought of a USB charge. Yes, they've actually fixed it up to where instead of it being like a normal plug-in that you plug into a wall or something like that, or it be only chargeable within the deck itself, it has its own USB charge to where you can hook it up to any USB port support. In other words, you can take it on the go anywhere you wanted to practically, because we have so many options. We have the cigarette USB port chargers that you can put into in your car and charge it up through there. You then have the fact that we went from like a normal battery life to where we now have a battery pack. A lot of people have been using that ever since Pokemon Go, so that is in itself is very accessible. I'm willing to actually overlook this because of that feature. But I still think they could have done better with the battery life. I think they could have. Because the way they said it, it ranges between 2 to 6 hours depending on the game. And from what they've said, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can last up to 3 hours before needing a charge. Which, honestly, while yes, that is pretty good, to some extent, probably not. I think they could have done better with a battery life. I think they could have done a little bit more considering the fact of what they worked on. I mean, seriously, what they've done right now is impressively well done. They have a concept ideal of a console/handheld gaming system. And that is something that no one thought would be possible. Not within years. Probably within the next 20 years, I want to say. So they broke some ground within that console alone. But unfortunately, I don't see it being a viable, useful console. Because there are multiple things they've left out. For starters, the durability. And while yes, some people will be like, well, they basically are driving it towards hardcore gamers, so they would know to be a little bit more excessive. No, you have to be careful with these type of things. Yes, their main handhelds are durable, and for good reason, because they've actually tested them to make certain that they will not break. On the other hand, though, we're talking about a tablet. We're talking about a tablet that gets hoisted into a deck console, which goes into the TV, and then whenever you want to, you can put those Joy-Cons on the side and take it on the go. The problem with that is that because it is a tablet, that means that it's going to be fragile because of its slimness. Meaning that if it for some reason drops, the screen can crack to some degree. Now, if they were to come out and say, oh, we do have, for those of you who are on the go, we do have a carrying support that will help protect it. We have like a screen protector. We have all these little features and stuff like that. If they have something like that, I think I'm willing to overlook this. But because of it just coming out and everything like that, keep in mind, they revealed that they have the Joy-Con separate controllers that they do sell. The problem is they're $80 price range. That can be a good and bad thing depending on the durability of the Joy-Cons. If the Joy-Cons are really, really durable, then chances are that $80 is going to be worth it. If they break easily, that $80 would just complete trash. So therefore, I think they should showcase the durability. Now, on the other hand, though, another thing that I was really hoping they would showcase, and they never showcased it until the event after. Apparently, they talked about the hard drive space, which was what I wanted to know. Because for years, Nintendo has had a reputation of not having enough space on their Nintendo console. With the GameCube, the Wii, and the Wii U, they didn't have enough. And from the way it sounds, the Nintendo Switch, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, takes up half of the memory space. Half! Are you kidding me? That's not enough! Are you kidding me? One game takes up over half of the memory space of the main console system itself. What?! You could have done better! Hell, we went from an age of where 5 years ago, in fact, we used to sell like 250 gigs external hard drive for like $100. Now, you can get easily a terabyte hard drive space, and for those that are keeping track, that's 1,000 gigs of data for less than $50. We went to that gap. They couldn't even put more than a terabyte of space drive in their consoles? Are you shitting me? That is like the worst thing I've ever seen. That is a downfall. I heard that and I was like, you mean to tell me they're still doing this shit? Oh my freaking god. So, overall with the Nintendo Switch, my overall opinions and thought, I thought to myself that this is an okay system. This is an okay system. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's good, I'm just saying that for what it is, it's okay. But I think they could have done a little bit better in terms of presentation. They could have done a little bit better with some of the titles that they've got. They don't have a huge lineup. In fact, Super Mario Odyssey won't be coming out until at the end of the year. Yeah, Breath of the Wild is right next to the console. Mario, at the end of the year. They couldn't have done better. They should have had a bigger lineup. Now, admittedly, yes, new consoles these days, they don't have a lineup that is good, but Nintendo needs to learn that people want their main IPs. They want real games. They don't want these shitty mini games that's only good for like a good 10 minutes. They should have done better with that. And instead, they just still consider it to be a party system. Oh my gosh, Nintendo. What the fuck? At any rate, though, I just wanted to talk about this particularly myself. I know some of you are very excited for... I do know that a lot of you are very excited for the console itself, so needless to say, I'm not griping about it. I'm just griping that they could have done better with the presentation. They did poorly in my opinion. Now, in terms of some of the games that they've got for the Nintendo Switch, as of right now, it is definitely encouraging. So chances are, they'll probably fix it up later on, and they'll do some finer tweaks after it gets released, whenever they start getting the cash flow and everything like that, and they'll make the stronger version, a bigger console, a bigger memory drive, which should have been in it. But it wasn't. Why was it not? Seriously, Nintendo, why are you still reliant on your stupid ethics? At any rate, though, that's all I wanted to say about the Nintendo Switch. But I'll see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Take care, guys.